is happening, everybody? A happy Monday to you all here, or I guess if you're picking up this video later on in the week, thank you for joining my first clicks betting video here for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. This week is a different one because we've got a golfer, the best golfer in the world, teeing it up, and he is dominating the odds. He's priced at 4-1 to win, the shortest price we've seen from a odds favorite since Bryson DeChambeau at the Rocket Mortgage, who came in at about 5.5 to 1. Hey, and he ended up winning that event. So Dustin Johnson coming here off of the win off of Saudi Arabia is 4-1. That is going to push a lot of other people into some nosebleeds levels. But because the field is not that strong this week, of course, if you want more information on that, check out my course in player preview video that I just posted along with this one. You'll understand that some of these prices on these golfers are going to be a little questionable. But as we get toward the bottom of the board, the prices get quite long. So let's go ahead and start off with who I am looking at here in my top 5. But before I do, I'm going to go quickly through the transparency corner, or transparency moment, I should say, and take a look at who I recommended last week and how they did. I recommended 5 golfers. I recommended Sung J M, Will Zalatoris, Sam Burns, Luke List, and Wyndham Clark. While all of them made the cut, which would have helped you for DFS purposes, only 2 of them got inside the top 20. That was Sung J M and Will Zalatoris. Now, Sung J M was about a plus 125, and Will Zalatoris plus 175 for those bets. So if you use a tiered structure, maybe you slid away with a break even, maybe slightly down. Certainly, when you hit 2 out of 5 top 20s that are paying plus money, it's pretty close to a break even. Sam Burns tied 22, another Sunday where he just couldn't get into a placement point for me, and then Luke List, of course, and Wyndham Clark missed out. But we're going to try and hit a winner here this week as we've got 5 more bets for the first clicks bet for the PGA the PGA Tour going to Pebble Beach this week. First one I'm going to bet is a golfer that lost in a playoff here 2 years ago and won in his last start. I know we don't typically like a guy that wins or looks to win in back-to-back starts, but Paul Casey, man, he certainly looks to be in great form early on here in this season. Now he just won, I should say, 2 starts ago on the European Tour, but was able to come in 12th last week in the Saudi International. So he won the Dubai Desert Classic. That was a week after coming in 8th at the Desert Classic. So a really nice stretch of golf here for Paul Casey, who comes in at 20-1 to win, 4-1 on the top 5. Top 10 is just about 2-1, a little less than that, and a minus 125 for a top 20. Course history, I mentioned the second place 2 years ago, came in 64th last year, was out of form and not playing well, still ended up making the cut. And again, his recent form came in 12th, 1st, and 8th in his last 3 weeks. So Paul Casey certainly playing a lot of good golf. Also, a bit of a world traveler, going from California to the desert, and now back from the desert to California again, but he'll be with Dustin Johnson and a couple of other players that are doing that, so I don't expect travel to be too much of an issue for Paul Casey this week. My second golfer I'm going to recommend this week, well, he's about double the odds that I thought he'd be, so that should show us value, but some people may not be ready to click Jordan Spieth's name at 30-1. Now listen, 30-1, it's a pretty good number for Jordan Spieth, if you go off historical purposes, especially against players that are in this field. Obviously, Dustin Johnson being a 4-1 favorite, it's going to push everybody else's odds up a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, outside of Dustin Johnson, Patrick Cantlay, and Daniel Berger, and Paul Casey for that matter, there's not really anybody that great in this field. So if Spieth is really coming back into form on a golf course that he hasn't missed a cut at in quite some time, is a former winner at, like I said, if he is coming back into form, this could be a good spot for him. And at 30-1, don't mind it. You're also going to get, of course, at 30-1, you're going to get a plus 125 to 1 on the top 20. But you're also going to get a 5-1 on the top 5 and a 2.5 to 1 on the top 10. I think those are pretty good odds if we're going to get an in-form Jordan Spieth. Even an out-of-form Jordan Spieth last year, a year ago, which we know he was not playing well a year ago, still managed to come in 9th here last year, 45th the year before that. Again, 4th and a missed cut in his last 2 starts. Next guy I'm going to talk about is a guy that has been simmering here for quite a bit. Had a really good Sunday going before a late bogey pushed him down a little bit, but that's Brian Harman. Brian Harman coming in at 70-1 this week, 10-1 on the top 5, 5-1 on the top 10, and plus 275 to 1 on the top 20. Hasn't played here since 2014, so quite a while, but there's a guy that certainly peppers more fairways than the average and is has a hot approach game and putter game, it's this guy, Brian Harman. So I'm going to go ahead and bet him. Last 2 starts, 36th and 8th in his last 2. Again, hasn't played here since 2014, so no history to go off of. But at 70-1, playing in pretty good form, I like Brian Harman this week through the each ways. Next guy I'm going to talk about is a golfer that has put together 4 straight made cuts and has 2 top 5s here in the last 5 years, and that is Matt Jones. Matt Jones coming in at 80-1 this week, 12-1 on the top 5, 6-1 on the top 10, and a 2.75-1 on the top 20. So some pretty good values. Like I said, he's come in the top 10 twice here over the last 5 years. So at that 6-1 value that you're getting for him, I think that's pretty good value, especially for a guy that's done it twice in the last 5 years. I probably said that a couple times. I apologize. That is including last year's 5th place finish, and 2 years ago, 54th. Recent form, 30th and 48th. Again, he's made 4 straight cuts, though. So Matt Jones, on a course that he has played well at in the past and in form right now, I like that combination for him, especially the value through the board. Okay, the last one I want to talk about is a guy that I might say might be my last time betting him. Similar to the stance that I took with William Gordon, who, again, I think is a definitely talented golfer who has got a good career in front of him, but is not really playing that great right now, can't quite find a stride. This guy, he's another one that we don't know exactly where he's going to be in a year, but we know he's got talent, and that's Andy Ogletree. He's 300-1 to win, 30-1 on the top 5, 18-1 on the top 10, and 8-1 on the top 20, so a good number there. He went down to as low as 6-1 on the top 20, but now back up 8-1 as I look over on the board. Obviously, he's new into the scene, so he hasn't played Pebble Beach, at least in a professional event yet, so no history here for 2 years. Recent form, missed the cut a couple of weeks ago. Was keeping it close, but ended up faltering on the back end. Got caught in some bad weather at the Farmers. Plus, I don't really think that's a course for him. He struggles a bit off the tee, which I think should be a bit mitigated here since it is so short. I think he should be able to find many more fairways than he did at Farmers a couple of weeks ago down at Torrey Pines. So I like Andy Ogletree again, 300-1. There are some guys even longer odds than him that are interesting. Will Gordon was one of them, who I just mentioned. But certainly you got guys like Kelly Craft, Minwoo Lee at 600-1 that may have an opportunity to at least get inside the top 20, which you're going to get some pretty darn good odds on the top 20 given the fact that Dustin Johnson's 4-1 to win. So, again, pushing everything else up. This week kind of goes to the strength of field. Only 7 golfers under 33-1, 8 golfers in the 33 to 51 range, so only 15 are 55-1 or better. That means the rest of the field, which is 141 players are at 66-1 or better. So it goes to show you what Dustin Johnson can do in the field. So that is my first clicks here. First clicks betting for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Of course, like and subscribe to our channel to get notified when all of these videos comes live, including my PGA DFS Top 5 series each and every week. So thank you all for joining my first click betting video, and we will see you on the other side. Good luck this week at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Cheers, everybody.